Hi everyone, welcome to What Are You Reading? I'm Natalie and I work at the Better Reading office with Cheryl, Jane, Dex and Sophie, who are all here behind me. I've done What Are You Reading once before and I've been kind enough to be welcomed back. So please tell me in the comments what you're reading and I'm going to tell you what I'm reading. I'm the campaign manager here at Better Reading, and a lot of the Facebook posts that you see, I run that and help manage that alongside Jane and Cheryl. And we all work together over here. We've got some interesting stuff on the table today, my book stack, as well as some fun and upcoming events that I'm going to be sharing with you all. So you all know how it works. Tell me what you're reading and I'll tell you what I'm reading. So to start off with, we've got our book of the week, which is J.P. Pomare's Home Before Night. I don't know if any of you have read this. Our review is up now and a link to that review will be in the comments soon as well. This is an interesting one. It's about a mother's intuition or a deadly guilty conscience. As the third wave of COVID hits, Melbourne has a lockdown curfew of 8 p.m. And wherever you are at 8 p.m., that's where you're stuck for 4 weeks. And you have to stay in a radius of 5 kilometers. It's a very interesting one. This is a tense, twisty thriller that's very gripping, of course, with JP. And Christian White had some great things to say on it. And Candace Fox said, "The thrill and fear arrive early and don't leave until the final pages. JP Pomare is the real deal. He has the skill to twist your heart." And that's definitely what this book is all about, and highly recommend it. So let me know what you're reading, and this is our book of the week. So I'll just read out some of the comments. Sharon says hi, Jill says hi, Wynn says that she's reading Estella by Kathy George on audio, and it's brilliant so far. And that is perfect for a segue into Estella by Kathy George. If you guys know Charles Dickens' Great Expectations, which I'm sure many of you do, it's obviously a classic. This, you would all know who Estella is. She was the anti-hero of that story. And Kathy George takes this to another level, an interesting feminist take on it. It's compelling, and a nice feminist take on a classic. So if you like Pip Williams or Karen Brooks, then this is definitely one that you will enjoy. And speaking of Karen Brooks, I will also segue again to this book, The Escapades of Tribulation Johnson. This is a book we had on our preview program last week, and if you're not familiar with our preview program, it's when you can receive these uncorrected proofs, advanced reader copies for you to read and enjoy before they're released. And this is one we had on offer last week. So keep an eye out on our EDM. There'll be a sign up link in the comments for you to see you can preview as well. So Meryl is reading Did I Ever Tell You This by Sam Neill, which is great because I read that one myself actually a few weeks ago. It was fantastic. Claire is reading, she's just finished The Drowning Woman through our preview program by Robin Harding and says it was fabulous. Keep your eyes out because that one will be turning up in a few weeks as well on our page. You'll be able to read our review as well on that one. Julie is currently reading The Hellsinger Sewing Club by Ella Guyland. Lisa is reading Prettier If She Smiled More by Toni Jordan. She's loving it so far and thinks that Toni is such a funny writer. And I definitely agree. Toni was in our office a few weeks ago and recorded a podcast. You'll also be able to check that out on our website, on our Stories Behind the Stories podcast, which was fantastic. Toni is obviously a fantastic writer and she's just a lovely person as well. Melissa is reading The Wonderful Thing About Phoenix Rose by Josephine Moon, which is a fantastic novel with an all neurodiverse autistic cast of characters, and Josephine Moon herself recently was diagnosed with autism and has been open about that. So it's a fantastic story. Definitely recommend that one. Yvonne just purchased, I'm not sure which book, but maybe Estella or JP's book. Sharon just started 26 Letters by Carl Nash. Karen says hi. And then it says she's reading Pip Williams' Bookbinder of Jericho and enjoying it as a great read. It's definitely a fantastic one. Pip is obviously very popular in our office and on our top 100 list. And she also was in the office a few weeks ago and did speak about the Bookbinder of Jericho. So if you haven't listened to that podcast episode, definitely go and do that. Next on my list is Emboldened by Belinda Alexandra, who will actually be hosting this segment next week, the What Are You Reading segment. It combines memoir and historical nonfiction. Belinda Alexandra was going through a dark, tough time, and there were 4 women who inspired her mother being one of them, during this time, and she wrote about those women and the influence they had on her. And I guess the theme of this whole memoir is passion. And so Emboldened is fantastic. Our review is up. We've got a few other things up there, Q&As, that you can learn more about Belinda Alexandra's experience with this and what led her to write this. So definitely check that one out. The other one on our list is Robert Gott's Naked Ambition. So this is about someone who's going to submit a painting that they recently did to the Archibald Prize, and for now, someone called up-and-coming junior minister Gregory Buchanan is going to keep it on his dining room wall. It's a life-size standing portrait, and it's nude. It's elegantly yet hilariously written. Robert Gott writes satirically and with an element of a whodunit mystery. So all of those things combined equal the recipe to laugh out loud, funny humor. So definitely check this one out. I'll just read some more comments of what people are reading. Kylie is reading The Marley Girl by Jennifer Scowler. Emma just finished Hello Beautiful by Anne Napolitano, a Little Women retelling which she loved. Currently listening to Heartburn by Nora Ephron, read by Meryl Streep. That sounds fantastic. I might check that one out. Audio is always better when there's a great voice, and I'm sure Meryl Streep is one of them. Hilarious and brilliant, she says. Tessa says hi. Hello, Tessa. She's reading Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. You can never go wrong with a classic. And speaking of classics, our top 100 list has recently been revealed. If you hadn't seen that on our Facebook, it's up now on the screen. And a link to see all 100 books are going to be in the comments. We've read some fantastic books on there. There's a mix of new books like T. Cooper's The Butterfly Collector and Christian White's The Tilt, but also classics like Pride and Prejudice, To Kill a Mockingbird. So have you read our top 100 list and seen what's on there? And if you have, let me know in the comments how many books you've read. So Judy is reading Now Is Not the Time to Panic by Kevin Wilson. Has read Home Before Night and really enjoyed it. That was JP's book, Home Before Night, set around a pandemic world with a curfew, which is really interesting. Jill is reading The Last Orphan. Carolyn has been rereading An Ordinary Day by Lee Sales for book club. A very good read, but sometimes hard to read book, even the second time around. And that's fair enough. I guess that happens sometimes when you're reading as well. So next on my list, I don't have a copy in front of me, but Dex is going to pop it onto the screen, is The Money Club by Fiona Lowe. Fiona Lowe did a live event last week, last Wednesday night. If you didn't tune into that, just head to our Facebook page and you can check that one out. This book is fantastic and bites into some of the main drives and issues of modern society, such as wealth, greed, jealousy, aspiration, and fulfillment. It makes you question a lot with some crime and some puzzling elements all included. So check that one out if you haven't. Another one that is on my desk on screen, because I don't have a copy here, is A Home Among the Snow Gums by Stella Quinn. Stella has a fantastic and large rural romance repertoire, and this is a fantastic addition to that. It's an unmissable, feel-good romance. She's the award-winning author of The Vet from Snowy River. And she was also in Tamworth last week with Cheryl and Jane. Sorry about that, that's the post. With Cheryl and Jane at the When Love Comes to Town event, which was a huge success. And Jane and Cheryl had a blast there with Rachel John, Stella Quinn, and Penelope Janu. Did anyone here attend that? If not, we've got some great photos up on our Facebook as well. And keep your eyes peeled because love might be coming to your town soon as well. And the last one that I have that's also not on my desk, a few missing from the office, is Orphea and Eurydice. It's a heart song to creativity, female empowerment, true love, and the quest for authenticity through courage. It's a swoon-worthy, breathtakingly exquisite, poignant masterpiece. And I feel like that encapsulates the book, but there's really not much to say. It's a great twist on the Orpheus myth. So if you're into mythology or anything like that, highly recommend this one. But if you're just in for a fantastic, exquisite, and stunning read, also recommend this one by Elise John. So one last one that I want to talk about before I jump into a few other things is one that I'm currently reading outside of Better Reading. It's a TikTok sensation. It's called Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I wasn't sure what to expect of this one. It's a translated Japanese bestseller. I recently found out that it's based on a play, so it's very intimate in terms of setting, and it's by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. It's a beautiful, moving story that explores the age-old question, what would you change if you could travel back in time? But the rules for time travel in this are a bit different, and you learn a lot about the characters. I also just found out that there are 2 other books in this, so I've only got about 30 pages left. Don't know how it ends yet, but I've got 2 more books to come once I do finish this one, so that's definitely exciting. I'll read some more comments of what people are reading now. Yvonne is reading The Perfumist of Paris by Alka Joshi. I like the 2 books in the series that came before this one. So that one is a trilogy, I believe, of 3, and The Perfumist of Paris is the final one in the trilogy. Rainey is reading Waypoints by Sam Hugan. Christine has just finished The Wakes and has started Craig Silvey's Run. Great uplifting read. That one's a children's book, but I know it's resonated with people of all ages, and I believe is nominated for an award at the Arbias this year. And speaking of the Arbias, we're actually all going, everyone here in our office, and we'll be hosting the red carpet event live. So that'll be on the 25th of May. And all the details are on our website. There'll be a link to that article in the comments, and you can check it out. But keep your eyes peeled because that's going to be live on our Facebook page. Cheryl will be interviewing a bunch of authors who are all nominated and shortlisted for awards. And there'll be a lot of people, it'll be a lot of fun. We'll be having some clips of that as well. And it's just a great night out. And if you don't know what the Arbias are, they are the Australian Book Industry Awards, and we are getting really excited for it every year. Think the Oscars, but for books in Australia. It's fantastic, and it's a fun night out for all of us in the office at least, but it's also fun to see who wins. All the shortlisted authors are fantastic. And speaking of shortlisted authors, we've got a little tally card here where you can tick off who you think you'll win. So this is for General Fiction Book of the Year, one of the biggest awards at the Arbias. We've got Dirt Town, The Tilt, Exiles, Days End, Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. We'll have this in the comments where you can download it and tick off who you think will win, and then tune in to find out who did win. So keep an eye out for that one. That one's really exciting. And we have one more, which is event, which is the Words on the Waves event. So lots of book events going on. This is on Saturday, the 3rd of June. And Cheryl, as you can see here in the picture, will be moderating a panel. And she'll be moderating that with Pip Williams, Todd Alexander, and Rachel Mogan McIntosh. A fantastic lineup of authors. But the event will run from Wednesday, the 31st of May to June the 5th. So there are lots of different programs on in that time frame. definitely check it out if you can, and there's some more information as well in an article coming in the comments. So to continue what everyone's reading, Carol has just finished reading A Woman's Work by Victoria Pullman and absolutely loved it. Jacqueline Frances Bell has just finished Going Zero by Anthony McCartan. Yvonne is reading Home Before Night by J.P. Pomare. Kate Jackson is just about to start Kookaburra Cottage by Maya Linnell. I've heard that one is fantastic and definitely looking forward to reading that one myself. So if you love rural romance, Stella Quinn, Kookaburra Cottage is fantastic as well. Tanya is currently reading Lessons in Chemistry. That came in at, I believe, number 2 on our top 100 list, so check that one out if you can. Jane says, great job, Nat. Thank you, Jane. I'm trying my best to fill in some very big shoes of yours and Cheryl's. Karen recently read The Paris Seamstress by Natasha Lester and now is reading The French Photographer by Natasha Lester. I seem to have read a lot of books in World War II in France, and Natasha Lester definitely does a great job at writing books in that genre. And she recently recorded a podcast with us, I believe. And speaking of podcasts, we have a few that have been released in the last week and a half. Today we just had Armando Lucas Correa's The Night Travelers. He came in a few weeks ago and recorded a podcast, and that episode is out now, along with Fire with Fire by Candice Fox and The Double Bind by Lorraine Peck. This one is the sequel to The Second Son, her best-selling novel, which was fantastic. All interesting, unique conversations, so definitely check those out. But more importantly, we also, Jane, who is here in our comments, she has released her own podcast, and she's definitely known for being on the more woo-woo side, but now she's taken that to discuss that with authors in Be Better, her new podcast. This is where she spoke to New York Times bestselling author of The Happiness Project. This one is Life in 5 Senses by Gretchen Rubin. Definitely go listen to that one. Plus, we have a bunch of other podcasts on our platform now. So we've got the flagship, which is Stories Behind the Stories, where you'll see authors like Lorraine Peck, as well as Book Chat with Caroline Overington, What Are You Reading, which was our summer edition, and Be Better with Jane Tara. Keep your eyes peeled because there might be some more interesting podcasts coming up. We'll have more to say about that eventually. Julie is reading the Book of Lost Names by Kristen Harmel and listening to Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow and loving it. That one's also on our top 100 list. That one's a really popular one between all of you readers. Joy Bell is reading Sunrise Over Mercy Court by Fiona McCallum and enjoying it. Karen asks, where can I access the podcast, please? So you can, if you just search Stories Behind the Story or Better Reading on wherever you listen to podcasts, most popular are Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So have a look there. You can definitely find it, but there'll also be a link to that in the comments, which we'll put in for you. So that's where you can listen to all of our podcasts over there. And to end this one, Helen Bolton is reading The Dark Sharon Bolton. So very interesting. I think that's time for me today, and I think I've covered everything off. So remember, we've got our top 100 list out and fantastic events and festivals coming up with the Words on the Waves, and also the ARBIA is coming up, which we're really excited about, and we'll be live streaming live from the red carpet for you guys. Thanks so much for having me on for a change, and Belinda Alexandra will be here next week, with Bolden, and to discuss what else she is reading. So keep your eyes peeled for that.